Balikatan 2026. As tens of thousands of troops mobilize across the Philippines, the media praises their unbreakable bond. But in the cold reality of geopolitics, pure friendship does not exist. There is only the calculated arithmetic of survival. Every nation here is locked in a fierce, unspoken struggle, not to shield each other out of loyalty, but to subtly push their partners half a step forward to act as the frontline shield against a massive superpower. Look at Japan's desperate mathematical reality. Japan relies on the South China Sea for roughly 90% of its crude oil imports. If this vital sea lane is blocked or seized by China, the Japanese economy faces immediate internal collapse within weeks. Defending this water is a matter of pure national life support, yet constitutional restrictions bind the hands of Japan's self-defense forces, preventing them from directly securing these waters. Trapped in this geopolitical dead end, Japan turned to a calculated alternative, outsourcing its defense line. This explains why Tokyo is providing cutting-edge air surveillance radar systems to Manila at a massive discount, virtually giving them away. Unable to deploy its own military forces, Japan is giving the Philippines its finest tech, its PIE. By reinforcing this archipelagic nation, Japan builds a southern breakwater to absorb Chinese pressure, quietly ensuring that any potential conflict is contained far from the Japanese mainland. But this is a dangerous trap for Manila. These Japanese-made radar systems do not operate in isolation. In a crisis, the data they capture will be linked directly to Japanese and U.S. command centers in real time. By accepting Japan's PIEs, the Philippines effectively declares to Beijing that it has become the forward terminal of the U.S.-Japan military network. Once active, there is no turning back. Manila trades aid for a permanent target on its back. The United States is driven by its own desperate reality. Overstretched by simultaneous conflicts in Ukraine and the Middle East, Washington no longer has the luxury of focusing its full might on East Asia. Furthermore, China's massive long-range missile network means that major U.S. bases in Okinawa and Yokosuka, and even multi-billion-dollar aircraft carriers, could be devastated in the opening hours of a conflict. The superpower's forward presence is deeply vulnerable. To counter this existential threat, the U.S. military developed its latest doctrine, EADO, for Expeditionary Advanced Base Operations. Instead of clustering forces in large, easily targeted bases, they dispersed small, highly mobile units across the remote islands of the Philippines. From the jungles of northern Luzon, these units will launch anti-ship missiles and immediately flee to the next island. The U.S. demands access to Philippine territory not out of goodwill, but to use these islands as a vast geographical cushion to absorb the first wave of Chinese missile strikes. Moreover, Washington refuses to foot the massive bill for building these distributed outposts. Strapped for cash, the U.S. relies on Japanese official security assistance and loans to upgrade Philippine ports and runways. This ensures that Japanese money funds the infrastructure that American forces will commandeer during the conflict. The U.S. is masterfully shifting both the physical and financial risks of its frontline defense onto its Asian allies. Yet, the Philippines is not a blind pawn in this game. Manila's desperation is driven by a ticking clock. Its conventional navy and air force are severely obsolete, incapable of defending its exclusive economic zone against China's maritime militia. Without immediate intervention, its territorial sovereignty and vast underwater energy reserves will be quietly and systematically erased by Beijing's coercion. For Manila, the alliance is a final, desperate lifeline. In response, Manila has deployed a brilliant, ruthless counter-strategy, the Tripwire Trap. Realizing it cannot win alone, the Philippines invited U.S. forces into its bases and placed Japanese assets on its soil. If China strikes a Philippine outpost, it will inevitably kill American soldiers and destroy Japanese systems. This triggers an immediate, mandatory intervention from Washington and Tokyo. Manila has deliberately cut off its allies' escape routes, turning its own vulnerability into an inescapable trap that drags the superpowers into the quagmire. Furthermore, Manila's financial calculation is ruthlessly efficient. By squeezing Japan for free radar and patrol ships, and letting the U.S. fund base access, the Philippines saved its scarce defense budget. And where did they invest these savings? They poured it entirely into pure offensive lethality, buying BrahMos supersonic anti-ship missiles from India. Manila successfully forced its allies to bear the boring, costly burden of surveillance, while it sharpens its own deadly fangs to send Chinese warships to the bottom of the sea. Japan wants a southern shield. The US wants to distribute its risks. The Philippines wants to drag both into a combined war of survival. The smiles at Balikatan are not born of genuine harmony. They are the result of severe, overlapping vulnerabilities. Yet, when these three desperate, self-serving strategies lock together, they create a highly resilient network of deterrence. This cold, calculated friction of interests is the raw reality keeping the peace in East Asia. A brutal transactional reality hidden behind diplomatic smiles. How do you evaluate this high-stakes deal between Japan, the US, and the Philippines? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. This is Frontline Scout 101. See you in the next brief.